Welcome back. Today I'm taking a look at the Nitecore P35i Ultra Long Range Dual Beam Flashlight. Let's check it out. Alright, this is everything the Nitecore P35i comes with. Here is the box, has a magnetic front, has all the information right here on the side of the box and some features on the back, but we'll go over that in this video. And it also comes with a hard molded nylon holster right here with a Velcro flap on the front, a USB Type A to Type C charging cable, a CR123 battery adapter. In this bag there's a spare rubber O-ring, and this is pretty cool. It comes with a remote pressure switch that's connected to the flashlight via a USB Type C connector. So warranty card, the user manual, and of course the P35i flashlight itself. And inside it does come with a proprietary 21700 battery, but we'll go over that shortly as well. But let me put everything off to the side and let me give you guys a nice close-up of the Nitecore P35i. And while you guys are checking this out, let's talk about some of the features. Alright, so the P35i has a maximum output of 3000 lumens and a maximum throwing distance of 1650 meters. That's 5,413 feet. That's over a mile of throw. And it also has an insane beam intensity of 678,000 candela. It features 3 user modes, a flood mode, a spot mode, and a mix mode. And while in flood mode, pushing out those 3,000 lumens are 6 CREE XP G3 LEDs. But the spotlight uses a Class 1 LEP with a maximum output of 410 lumens. It's powered by the proprietary Nitecore NL2150 HPI 21700 5,000 milliamp hour rechargeable lithium-ion battery that can be charged right through the USB Type-C port right on the flashlight. Or it can be powered with 2 CR123 batteries with some restrictions. It features dual switches, a tail switch and a side switch, and a multifunctional OLED display. The body's made of an aluminum alloy and has a Type 3 hard anodized finish. It has an impact resistance up to 1 meter, and it has an IP rating of 68. The 6 means it's completely dustproof, and the 8 means it's submersible in up to 6 feet of water. Alright, let's talk dimensions. It has a length of 7.36 inches, a head diameter of 2.56 inches, and a tube diameter of exactly 1 inch. And according to my weight test, it comes in at 13.2 ounces. That's 374 grams, and yes, I did weigh it with the Nitecore 21700 battery inside. Alright, so who is the P35i made for? Very much like the MH40S I reviewed a few days ago. It's mainly for, I would say, hunters and law enforcement. But just like they say on the website here, it says search, patrolling, rescue, industrial maintenance, emergency lighting. It could be used for all of that. So with the abilities of the P35i here, I can say it's made for a number of people, but once again, mainly for law enforcement or hunting in my opinion. But for me specifically, I would use this as a very, very, very long range searchlight. And that has a lot to do with that Class 1 LEP in here with this dual lens system. And you can see that magnifying lens right there on the bottom. So I can't show you that LEP. It is way far back in there, and there's such a magnifying effect right there. You definitely cannot see in there. But I can show you those 6 CREE XP G3s right there that are capable of 3,000 lumens in floodlight mode. And that's one thing that's really interesting about this light, those 3 user functions: flood, spot, and mix. For me, when I was testing this light, I tend to lean more towards the mix mode just because I do like the spotlight, but I also like to have somewhat of a flood, somewhat of a spill around that spotlight. As you guys know, with that Class 1 LEP, that's a laser, so it doesn't have much spill at all. It's just a very intense hot spot. I like to have a little bit of spill just so I can see what's around me. So that's why I lean more towards the mix mode, because it's a mix between that LEP and the CREE LEDs up here. But while you're in flood mode, it is still possible to activate that spotlight. I'll go over the UI a little bit later on in this video. I'll give you guys a nice look at that striking bezel right there, just like the MH40S. It doesn't look aggressive, but it is pretty sharp on these edges. So once again, I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of this striking bezel, especially this weighing 13.2 ounces. This could do some damage, so this could be used as a nice self-defense light as well. And if you're wondering what it says right here on the head, it just says laser 1, so it's a Class 1 laser LEP. And going over the rest of the body, it's classic Nitecore. Everything feels very well built, very high quality. You can see the handle right here, just the shaft where the battery sits. It's actually pretty small, so I can get about 3.5 fingers on this, just because that LEP has to sit back so far. That head is taking up so much room. Over 50% of this flashlight is basically the head. And that tube does have some nice knurling on it, so it does have a nice grippy feel to it. And while we're back here, let's take a look at this tail cap. So right here is the tail switch. Has a nice rubber cap over it. Everything feels very, very nice. And you can see where the USB Type-C charging port is, which is interesting. It's right here on the tail cap. And then right there is an LED light right there that will give you its charging status. And now let's open this up, because the tail cap, I'm going to show you guys inside the tail cap here, does not have a spring right there, as you can see. So no spring on the tail cap at the negative end of this battery. And I already talked about what this battery is. Now this is a proprietary Nitecore battery. You can't use this flashlight with any conventional 21700 batteries. It has to be this battery right here. Or you can use the CR123 battery adapter. I do have two CR123 batteries inside. I did test this with these two CR123 batteries, and I said there were some restrictions. Basically, you can't activate turbo if you are using CR123 batteries. So in the flood or spot user modes, you only have access to 4 of the 5 lighting modes. You don't have access to turbo if you have to use these CR123 batteries. So that means you don't have access to 3000 lumens or that 1650 meter throw. So yes, it does have dual switches to activate the light and switch the modes. You activate the light with the tail switch back here, and you use the side switch to cycle through your modes. And as you guys just saw, I just activated that multifunctional OLED display right there. So if you hit the side switch right here while the flashlight's off, it'll show you the last brightness level you left off on, the last user mode, and the voltage remaining on the battery. So that is very cool. You guys know I am a big fan of Nitecore's multifunctional OLED display. I wish all of their flashlights had this because it's just so useful. While the flashlight is on, it'll read out your current brightness level, the current user mode you're in, the output in lumens, the beam distance, and the runtime remaining on the battery. It's just so useful. Now I'll throw up on the screen the lumens and runtime information. Now I'm not going to go over all this. There's just so much to go over here. So you guys can actually pause the screen if you want to and review every single little category. But let's talk about flood mode and that turbo. 3000 lumens, 45-minute runtime, a 200 meter throw, and 10,000 candela. And now turbo in spot mode is 410 lumens, 2 hours and 15 minutes of runtime, 1650 meters of throw, 678,000 candela. Now I like the mix mode right down there. You can see there's only 3 lighting levels, low, mid, and high. Now I like this because it's a mix between flood and spot. You can see even in low, 130 lumens, and you still get 640 meters of throw, even in low. And then check out the runtime there, 6 hours of runtime, and you get that insane 640 meters of throw. That's awesome. Medium, 420 lumens, 900 meters of throw, and then that high, 3000 lumens, basically everything. 3000 lumens, 1650 meters of throw. That is a very, very bright mode right there, that mix mode on high. But you'll be able to see that once I take this flashlight outside and do my beam test. All right, so let's check out the UI here. First, I want to show you how to switch between the user modes. What you have to do is press and hold the side switch, and then press in the tail switch right there. So you're going to see it's going to switch between flood, mix, and spot mode. So I'm going to let it go on flood mode right there. So now we're in flood mode, and you can see those 6 CREE LEDs on top are activated. And then all the information right there. You can see we're at level 1, flood mode. You can see our lumens, our beam distance, and how much time we have remaining. 66 hours and 4 minutes on this level 1 right here. And then to switch the brightness levels, just short press the side switch. You can see all the information right there on the screen as I go up in levels. Level 2, 3, 4, and 5. That should be our 3000 lumens right there. And you can see this sucker is bright. I mean, that is so bright. Once we get it outside in the darkness, you'll be able to see. But that 3000 lumens, 200 meters of throw is pretty awesome. And now let's get to spot mode. So let's turn it off. I'll hold down the side switch and push in the tail, and then let it go right there on spot. So it should be on level 1 spot. Nope, it's on level 2 spot, 65 lumens, 650 meters, and 7 hours and 37 minutes left on that battery. So let's cycle through. That's level 3, level 4, and that should be our level 5. You can see 410 lumens, 1,650 meters of throw. And I got what, 1 hour and 25 minutes? Yep, 1 hour and 25 minutes on this spot. Now let me just put this in level 1 so I don't kill my camera sensor. So you can see right there, that LEP is activated right there. This is only on level 1. I don't want to push it directly into my lens either, but this is insanely bright laser. This LEP is no joke. You can see what I was talking about. If you guys are familiar with LEPs, virtually no spill at all. Level 2, 3, 4, and there's level 5. This is absolutely insanely bright here. So back to level 1 here, you guys can see if you're using this as a spotlight, you're not going to be able to see much around you other than what's in this very intense hotspot right here. That's why I like the mix mode. Let's turn it off because it's going to be a mix of all 3. Flood, mix. Right here is going to be a mix. So everything is activated. Let me make sure it is on level 1 right here. So all 6 CREE LEDs are activated and the LEP is activated. So there's level 1, which is low. Level 2 is mid. And 3 is high. This is 3,000 lumens, 1,650 meters of throw. This is the maximum right here. So this is pretty insane. But there is a way in flood to activate that spotlight mode, full 1,650 meters of throw. Once it's on in flood, like this, all you have to do is press and hold down that side switch. And once you do, you can see it goes to turbo 3,000 lumens and a timer starts counting down right there. So it's a limited amount of time, but we have full 3,000 lumens. Basically, it's level 3 of mix mode right here. So you can activate that right in flood mode. Once it runs down, you could do it again right away. You can see. And turbo starts, actually, let me put it the right way. Oop, just blinded you. And from my experience, this lasts longer the second and third time around. So you can see, do it again. Activate it. So I think you can do this over and over and over again. I didn't do this testing it to where the battery went dead, but I did this 4 or 5 times and it's the same result. It keeps going right back to this and giving me that timer. Also, from what I can tell, you can't activate strobe through either one of these buttons, but you can activate strobe through the remote pressure switch that's included. So just connect the USB Type-C to the charging port right there. You can see it does have a locking clip right there. So just lift that up, locks right in. There's 4 buttons right here. It's this last button. You can turn this on, and if you just hold it down, you can see right there, it's a momentary strobe. So you can activate strobe through this pressure switch. I just haven't found a way to do it without this pressure switch. I haven't been able to find a way to do it through these natively through the actual flashlight. Oh, and I almost forgot. Yes, there is a memory in the UI. I forgot to mention that. So if you do have it on a certain brightness level and user mode, it will go right back to that once you turn it back on. And as far as I can tell, there is no lockout. You just have to give this little tail cap a quarter turn, locks out the flashlight, everything is good. All right, now let's get to my scientific, not so scientific lumens and runtime test. And I'm not even going to look for a step down here. My main concern is the heat while it's in mix mode at high, 3,000 lumens and that 1,650 meter throw. So I already have it saved in mix mode on high. There's 2 minutes. So let's do this at the same time. All right, go. All right, so let's turn this off. So not that bad. After 1 minute at the head, it was 104 degrees Fahrenheit, and at the body was 88.8. Not that bad at all. After 2 minutes, the head was 110.6, and at the body was 92.6. So completely manageable all the way around. The head does feel about right here. It was hotter in this section right here than right here at the end of the lens. So this is where all the heat was right here. That's where I was measuring it. 110.6, completely manageable. I wasn't really looking for a step down from that turbo. If there was one, I'll put it on the screen right now. All right, so I realized this location right here where I usually come isn't the best demonstration for the spot, but it should be pretty good for the flood. So right here, I just turned that on. That is a level 1 flood right there. And then level 2. And I'll put up the distance between here and those back trees as always. Level 3. And that is a wide, very wide beam. 4. And there's 3,000 lumens. Oh yeah, very nice. So you can see. Yeah, that is a pretty floody light. Very even, actually. Look at that. Obviously, with those 6 LEDs on the very top of that lens, it's going to be a pretty even beam. Let me pan across the field here and see what it's doing. So 3,000 lumens. Let me go back here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5. If I press and hold down that mode, it's going to activate turbo here. And we can get that spotlight out. There's that LEP hitting right there. So we only have so much time left. There is a timer on that OLED screen if you want to do this. But if I let it go, it goes right back to that flood. So that's really cool. I like that feature that if I'm on flood, I can just press and hold down that side switch and activates that LEP laser. Let me walk down here. Let me turn it down and put in level 2. I should have plenty of battery. Yeah, it's got 20 hours at least on level 2 here. So let me go back to turbo here, hit the tops of those trees without a problem. So this 3,000 lumens is extremely bright, obviously. This flood, I can see basically everything around me. Let me hit down that trail. Look at that. Boom. Now that's turbo right from flood mode. If what I'm doing is I'm pressing and holding down that side switch. I just let it go and it stays. Deactivate it. Whoa. I saw some kind of animal down there. It's just, I can see everything down there. Now let's look down this trail. You can see the beam of that LEP. That is pretty intense. Like I said, 1,650 meters is pretty intense. All right, I said this in my MH40S review video that I just can't do that light justice just because I don't really have the distance here. This is level 1 spot. So there's the first net right there. I'll put that on the screen. And looks like I'm hitting that second and third net. I don't really see that fourth net though. So what I'll do is I'll go to the next level. Wow. I mean, look at this. I don't think I'm kissing those trees back there. I'll put up the distance between here and those back trees. I am just kissing them just a little bit on that level 2. There's level 3, level 4, and there's level 5. Now I can see that fourth net clearly right there. And then those trees, absolutely hitting those trees right there. So this is a very, very intense spotlight here. And as I was saying, if I point right here, you can see there's virtually no spill at all. That's why I like those mixed modes, even with the flood and holding down, even though it's a limited time that I can hold down to have that spotlight on flood, it's still appreciated that I have that. Right now I have it in the mix mode. Let's turn that on. This is level 1 mix, so look at that. Look at that flood and that beam at the same time. That's awesome. That's low. Oh, hey, sorry, that was high. There's level 1, that's low, medium, and there's high. So this is the full 3,000 lumens and 1,650 meters of throw. Sorry, I had it reversed. It's like, man, that's really bright for level 1. But look at this insane, look at this. It's absolutely insane, this beam right here. And this beam profile is nice, obviously, with that sharp, straight laser and that nice flood. I mean, let's go across the street again. Oh yeah, not a problem at all. hitting those trees across the street. I gotta be careful where I shine this thing. There's some houses down there. I don't wanna put this in anybody's window, but let's go to the next location. I wanna keep this in mix mode on level 3. And wow, just look at that. So without a problem at all, the first net, second net, third net, fourth net without any issues. Those back trees back there without any issues. So guys, as expected, this is a monster thrower with this class 1 LEP, 3000 lumens and those 6 CREE LEDs. I wish I had an overlook I can go to. I just don't have anything like that, where I can just see for about a mile in distance, so I can see just what this thrower can do. But this is the best I got for you right here. So let's get back inside. All right, guys, as you can see, this thing is a monster at throwing light, 1650 meters. I do like the beam profile in that mix mode with the flood and the spotlight together. And I do like the fact that you can just hold down the side switch either in flood or spot and still get that maximum 3000, 1650 meter throw. So I really love the versatility here in the P35i. I think it's highly functional. I like the 3 user modes. I like being able to switch out that 21700 being proprietary for normal CR123s, except that now you lose turbo if you use those CR123s. But it's still very nice to have those backup batteries for emergency situations, so that's a plus. And who doesn't love this multifunctional OLED screen right here that Nitecore has on their flashlights? Very useful. I love seeing how much battery life, what mode I'm in, lumens, the beam distance, what the brightness level I'm on. I just love how functional and how convenient this screen is. One negative, however, is you can't tail stand this flashlight. You can see that tail switch right there. There's no stands right here on this tail cap to actually sit it upright. So I love tail standing my flashlight. So that is one negative. But overall, this has to be one of my favorite Nitecore releases. I absolutely love this flashlight. But be prepared to come out of your pockets a little bit for this light. This is pretty pricey at $300. But based on the performance of this flashlight, a very high-end flashlight with that LEP laser in there for that spotlight, I think it's worth the $300. All right, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. What do you think of the Nitecore P35i? Now, if you want to check this out for yourself, I will have links down below in my description box. But if you did enjoy this video, please give me that thumbs up. Please subscribe. And go!